Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So today we're going to talk about Disney and Disney's decision to not set up a new project. And we're going to use that to illustrate the economic impact that something like this causes, because it's way more than most people think. And in this case, we actually have some decent numbers to work with. So, if you missed the news, Disney has decided to not move forward with a project to put a bunch of Imagineers in Florida, 2,000 of them. And they've decided that project, that's California. Okay. Now, there are a lot of people that are saying, hey, this is because of, everything that's going on in Florida dealing with Disney. I mean, maybe. We don't know that, though, to be honest. We don't actually have any real evidence that that's true. My personal belief is that, yeah, it probably does have something to do with it. I think it definitely factored into it, even if it wasn't the entire reason for not continuing this project. But Disney's never going to say that, because contrary to the way people are trying to paint it, Disney isn't actually trying to get involved in the political aspects of things. They're really not. But either way, you have a situation where a project that is being described as either a billion-dollar project or 2,000 jobs is no longer going to be in Florida. Okay. $1 billion, that doesn't actually really cover what this is going to cost. I think that's actually the amount to set up the facility. 2,000 jobs. Okay, they're Imagineers. I've seen where people say the median income is 120 grand. We're just going to say 100,000, because I would imagine part of the reason they might have ended up here is because you could pay people less. So 100,000 a year times 2,000 people. That is $200 million a year ripped out of the economy. It's not going to be there now. So every 5 years, from salary alone, it's $1 billion gone. But wait, there's more. Because that's just the salary. That doesn't include the money the company itself would spend in the area on everything from replacement parts for equipment to coffee and donuts. There's a whole lot of economic activity that would be generated that way, easily matching the salary. But wait, there's more. That also just includes what the company itself spends for products and their own employees, their own salaried people. What about like the landscapers? That's gone too. What about the increased economic activity just outside? People go in and get coffee on their way into work. That's gone too. People going out to dinner, that's gone too. Let's say you have a married couple who are both Imagineers and they just love Disney. They have a couple kids. That nanny's job, it's gone. Beyond that, if you have a facility of that size, stuff is getting trucked into the area. Those truckers will not be coming because they don't have to bring it anymore. All of the increased economic activity it snowballs. This is way more than $1 billion gone. Way more. And it is super long lasting. This is a bunch of money that could have been pumped into that economy over the long term. When Disney puts something somewhere, it stays. You're talking about billions upon billions of dollars that will not be in Florida because of this. Now, here's the thing. We know about Disney because it made headlines, right? Because it's very high profile. The thing is, this is happening all the time. I personally know somebody who was looking at setting something up in the next couple of years. They were going to put it up in the Panhandle. Salary would have been 12 to 15 people making almost 100K a year. So you're looking at 1.2 million a year in salary. The company itself would probably spend as much, if not more, on materials in the area. So you're talking about $2.5, maybe $3 million that's not going to be put into this area. And the difference is in the Panhandle, they don't have the money to lose like that. And this isn't going to make headlines. Nobody's even going to know about it. The current decision they made was that they're going to put it in Georgia as long as Georgia does what it's supposed to in the next election. If they don't, they're looking at Minnesota and Maine. Those jobs, they're gone. The money, it's gone. And I know this person. This person is not going to want to go back and forth from Minnesota or Maine to here. That means that eventually the entire enterprise will go to Minnesota or Maine. These decisions, they have long-term impacts. For an area that is economically disadvantaged, to lose $15 million a year, the GDP of some of the counties here barely breaks half a billion. That's huge. When you are talking about large things like Disney or like a military installation, the impacts are just amazing. And they are really long term because Disney is like the military. When it goes somewhere, it stays. Whether or not this particular decision had anything to do with the current political climate, we don't know. Not really. We can all suspect, we can all believe, but we don't know that. What we do know is that companies will make that decision, whether or not it happened this time or not. It will happen in the future. And the amount of money that is lost because of it is huge. So the policies that are getting enacted that are, let's just say, more old-fashioned, what that means is that companies that look towards the future, institutions that look towards the future, they're not going to want to be there. And companies that plan 10 or 20 years out, they tend to be the most profitable, which means they tend to bring in the most money. It is cheaper to be a good person. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.